When most people think of China, the first thing that comes to mind are cities with typical traditional Chinese architecture, like if everyone is still living in hutongs and there are temples everywhere. Massive crowds of people, shops selling fake products or like cheap things, and of course the gray sky full of pollution every day. If these are the only images you see of China from Western media, then it kind of makes sense that this is your perception. However, I've been living, studying and working in China for already a few years now, so I thought like maybe it's interesting and fun to show you my story of China and maybe showing you a bit like the real impression of China, I guess, because I guess like a lot of things has changed over the last 20 and 10 years. And I just want to say that I am really enjoying living in China, and maybe some of my foreign friends, they are a bit curious why. So that's why this episode of Naomi in Chengdu is called 7 Reasons Why I Love Living in China. So let's go. So the biggest reason why I really like living in China is safety. China is a super safe country, and it's just crazy to realize that street harassment is an everyday reality for many women around the world. And you know, from a young age, we ladies have to deal with men who whistle, who say nasty things, whether they are in the car or on the street, and sometimes you get the feeling that someone is gonna follow you after a night out. But these things barely happen in China, or at least for me, and I know so many other foreign ladies who have the same experience. Like here I can just easily walk on the street, get drunk and still take a cab and walk at 3 AM and just having this feeling that nothing is gonna happen, and it just feels so good. So the second reason for me is the easy way of living and the convenience. Like the shops are open from early morning till late in the evening. I can just pay with my phone anywhere, anytime, and I think like for me it's a little bit difficult to explain for those who have never been to China, but it's just so easy here. Like I just can't imagine to pay with cash, to carry my wallet and my keys, and to go to a physical store or whatever. Like my groceries get delivered online. A very good example is actually that 2 of my friends, they stayed over in my apartment and I didn't have enough towels because I put them in the laundry. Anyways, so I ordered a few online and it got delivered within 30 minutes. And that's just like the speed of it, like the efficiency, the speed, everything is just online, making it just convenient. Also, if I just want to go from one to another place, there are just shared bikes everywhere. Also with the battery chargers, like wherever I go, like literally every shop, every 20 meters, there's like these battery chargers machines, so I can just get one and then, you know, my phone gets charged. So if you ever have the excuse that you're running out of battery, then you're just lying. But you know, these are just a few examples, but yeah, it's just easy, convenient, and I'm loving it. So the third reason is dining out. If there's one thing I really hate, then it's cooking. Oops, the millennials generation. But China, it's just making it so easy for me to just get some food here on the street. Of course, you know, you have like the fancy luxury restaurants, and if I wanna, you know, if I'm craving for some pasta or like a nice salad with like a good juice or some sushi, of course, you know, I can just get it. But also like here, the restaurants can be so affordable. Like I can already have like a great meal for just like 10-15 RMB, which is just really affordable. And of course, oh my gosh, like the night market with all like those food stalls and the snacks, and you know, I can just chill outside, get a beer, and you know, it's just so easy. Also, I know it's a little bit bad, but I do often order food online. I can already get it delivered like within 30 or 40 minutes, and you know, I cannot only order like noodles or dumplings, but basically just anything. And if I have to wait for like longer than 40 minutes, then I'm like, what? And I just can't imagine, to be honest, like going back to the Netherlands. Just the thought of cooking every day, like, oh my gosh, like no. So the third reason for sure dining out. Coming from a very small village, I didn't grow up with much exposure to public transportation, so that is why my fourth reason is China's public transportation, because not only it is very affordable, it is also very convenient and clean. Okay, so what I also really like about China is the evening part. For me, it just feels like that everyone is just, you know, going on the street, just walking and chilling and dancing and singing and whatever. Maybe also like it makes sense because probably a lot of people are just stressed out, or they finally have some free time after a very long day of working. But you know, there's just so much atmosphere and it's so alive, and I think especially for me, because I come like from a very small town, I guess. No, for sure, I come from a very small town, so now I can just really, you know, experience like the big city life. And oh yeah, what I also really like is of course like the beautiful lights. Like there's just lights everywhere, and then with the advertisements and the billboards and just the lights on the trees and on the buildings, it just, yeah, I don't know, it makes me like very happy when I see this. Of course, also I can't wait when I retire and that I can also dance with my friends, because here what is really famous is square dancing. So there's always like a lot of people on the square and they're just dancing and having fun. Yeah, so this is another reason, the evening part. Alright, so the sixth reason for me is traveling. There are so many things to see and to discover. Like even though I can't travel abroad, you know, I can't complain about anything, because China got the seaside in Hainan, got the big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen. There are so many national parks, the desert, the mountains, the remote tiny villages, you know, like in the province or like in a rural area, I mean. So there's just so many things to discover, so yeah. Okay, so the last and the seventh reason is Chinese harmony. So you might think, what is Chinese harmony? But I think harmony is considered to be the most important element in Chinese culture. So they say if you are living in harmony with each other, you are living together peacefully. So even though everyone is so different, you know, like in terms of the way we look, our values, our mindset, our behavior, our attitude, but as long as we're trying to be on the same page, we have respect for each other, and like we're trying to work together, you can achieve great results. And I'm really focusing on like what's going on right now with the pandemic, because you know, like of course, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it is bad that it happened in China, but the way they were trying to solve, you know, their situation, like how they were handling like COVID-19 was and is so admiring. Like especially, you know, like the first month, everyone literally just stayed inside. Like this entire nation just stayed inside. They followed the rules. No one had like a but, you know, like everyone just did it. People are still wearing masks in public spaces or like transport. We are washing our hands, disinfecting it, and you can just see like the results. And I think like a very good example is a friend of mine. She's Chinese and she had her own restaurant, and unfortunately she had to shut it down, and she just never complained about it. She was always saying to me like, it is what it is, and you know, I'm healthy, it's getting better with, you know, with China and this and that, and she just never complained about it. And I just can't imagine that someone would say that in the Netherlands, because we're just so used to be independent, I guess. Like it's always like me, you know, like we have like this mindset of like I can just do whatever I want, and if I just want to do it, then I just do it. But you know, like you can just see by working together and yeah, by doing it all, then now we kind of like have our normal life back. And yeah, I guess you can say I learned the meaning of Chinese harmony. And yeah, so also with that said, I think I'm gonna end the video. It's a little bit different of maybe what you expect of like a Naomi in Chengdu episode, but I do hope that you thought it was very interesting. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, then please do so, and then I will see you next week for another episode. So yeah, see you later. Bye bye from Chengdu.